When is a Mini Cooper not a Mini Cooper? Today, folks. And that's because that is a 2019 Mini Cooper Countryman SE All4. I think I got it all in. And in my book, I have a top 10 as to why it is not a Mini, but it is a good car. There's a lot of tech in this car. The overall propulsion units of this vehicle are kind of fascinating. This is a 1.5 liter, 3-cylinder turbocharged engine that puts out 134 horsepower, which by the way is hooked up to a 6-speed automatic transmission. That's the only transmission you can get with this E package. Now, powering the rear wheels, there's an 87 horsepower electric motor, and it works. It works actually really well. Here's the cool part about it. You can actually shut down the gas engine as long as you have enough juice and run this as an electric car only in rear drive, which is a lot of fun when you shut off the traction control because you can drift. According to Mini, when you actually combine the gas engine with the electric motor, you get 221 horsepower combined, but you get up to 284 pound-feet of torque. Mini gave us an extra little toy, which is called EBoost. Basically, as you're running down the highway and you slam down the accelerator, the batteries push you a little bit further through the electric motor. That's right, it's almost like turbocharging. Let's open this puppy up. There we go. Gas tank is on the other side. Now, you guys have to get used to owning one of these days because electric cars are coming. Now, speaking of electric cars, this vehicle has a 12-mile electric range. To put that into perspective, the Chevy Volt has a 53-mile all-electric range. The problem here is that they can only put so much into this car without making it too overweight. Now, charge times vary depending on what you're plugging into, but I've noticed that on a low charge, when you plug this into anything that is 220, it tends to charge pretty quick because, once again, not a lot of capacity, so you're not charging a lot. The Minis were originally built in 1959 all the way up to 2000 in terms of the regular little tiny guy. And then BMW came in, and in 2001 they started building larger Minis, completely new, really cool cars. This is supposed to be related to those cars, and frankly speaking, it doesn't look like it is. Amongst other things, it's its overall size. This thing is huge. It's really, really tall, and it's really, really big, and it has 2 sunroofs. It's not a Mini. If you took the name badge off and put on, oh, I don't know, BMW, it would be a BMW. Brakes are another issue unto themselves, and the reason why is because this has regenerative braking, meaning that when you apply the brakes, you're actually using some of that energy to recharge the batteries, which is great. Unfortunately, the brakes feel kind of dead. There's not a lot of feel to them. It's hard to modulate. They're so grabby that there's this jerky feeling that you get when you just touch them. I know I'm exaggerating my head a little bit, but that's the point. Interior. It's not a bad place to be. It's not very Mini-ish. I mean, they've done the same thing they've done before with the large speedometer in the middle, but it's really not even a speedometer anymore. It's basically where all your controls are, and for your entertainment, infotainment system screen and what have you. And then you add to that the fact that for a Mini, I mean, it is spacious. There is tons of headroom. Even Roman's massive head could fit in here without a problem. And then you talk about materials, which have improved since the last model. This is actually a replacement for an older vehicle, which frankly, yeah, I think that the interior is a little bit better screwed together. Comfortable interior. Seats are actually not too bad, even for my big American ass. And headroom's great. Materials are better. Yeah, not bad. Still doesn't feel like a Mini. Weight. Oh yeah, I know a lot about that. So does Mini. This baby weighs almost 2 tons. When you put my big butt in the driver's seat, it weighs over 2 tons. That is a lot of weight for any Mini. A lot of weight. The next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is steering. Because one of the things Mini is known for is really good handling. Now, I'm not saying this car doesn't handle well, especially for such a small car that weighs what it weighs. It handles pretty good, but there is some noticeable oversteer that I've never experienced before with a Mini Cooper, and that goes into the steering feel. Not a lot of it. It's sort of counterintuitive if you're used to driving Mini Coopers. Overall ride isn't bad. It's probably one of the best riding Mini Coopers out there. It feels a lot like a BMW product. This vehicle, despite the fact that it really is built for some efficiency, gets 27 miles per gallon. That's not great. It's not. If it were a regular Mini, especially the little ones, it would do much better. And part of that has to do with the weight, and part of that has to do with the extra drag, parasitic loss from that. Fortunately, there is an option to make this car a little bit lighter. And the way you do that is by not having passengers in here, even though it is built to hold up to 5 people. By the way, in order to pop this, you actually have to unlock it from inside the door on the driver's side. It unlocks, then you can pop it open. Extra security, I guess. According to my calculations, right about here is the length of the original Mini Cooper that came out in 1959. Actually, the original Mini that came out in 1959. So all of this, which is actually wider than me, is all the stuff they decided to do since then. Add on 2 more doors, lift it up, make it kind of sort of a crossover, and frankly speaking, it's your fault that they did that. The Mini pedigree, long gone, because people said, boy, I would really like a larger Mini. And then somebody else said, well, you know what? I want to be able to bring my family with in my Mini. And then somebody else said, oh, I want my dog to come with my family in the Mini. And it went on and on and on. And that's why we have something so big and so far away from what it originally started as. So it doesn't feel British. It's really expensive, but it's fun to drive. It handles very, very well. No other crossover in this class, which in terms of size, not in price, can come close to this car in terms of its performance versus theirs. Maybe the Mazda CX-3, it's a sharp handling little car, but I think that the interior on that car feels a lot smaller than the interior on this car. Number 1 on this list, price. Originally Minis came out, they were built specifically to be inexpensive to own, inexpensive to operate, and inexpensive to live with, and that's long gone. Since BMW's taken over, their cars are premium small cars, which is still hard to digest, at least here in the United States. The vehicle behind me, its MSRP is $45,750 Deutschmarks, dollars. Wow, that's a lot. And here's the thing, that's not even fully accessorized. If you go online and go to Mini, you can get this thing really close to $50,000. Now, I know it's a premium small car and it's a fun small car, but it's an expensive small car, man. Thank you so much for joining me for the Fast Lane Car. This is Nathan. Don't forget to go to TFLcar.com and TFLtruck.com and TFLoffroad.com for news, views, reviews, and more fun Mini, not Mini stuff. By the way, I stand by what I say, that it's not a Mini, but it's still a really good car. Minis usually represent something that is British, really British. And I am a bit of an Anglophile. I like British rock bands, occasionally like a cup of tea. Not like Roman, but tea.